My name is Ian Barker, and I am the founder of Simtext. Simtext is a company that produces a technology called the Liquid Textbook Platform, and its intention is to allow educators, schools, and publishers to deliver custom digital learning materials to students. When we launched the Liquid Textbook Platform back in 2009, we were under the firm belief that it would be a very viral marketplace, that professors would see this easy-to-use assembly tool set and flood to it. And it turns out that that's less the case. Professors, as a group, are very overworked. They've already got administration and research and teaching to do. The last thing they want to do is to learn any new technology, even if it is simple. So we ended up changing our tactics somewhat and finding partners like the university bookstore who actually want to undertake the labor of assembling liquid textbooks on behalf of faculty. So all the faculty need to do is to provide a reading list, and the school can then fulfill it by finding the content and assembling the liquid textbook using our platform. So we have found that it is a very good market indeed. In fact, for us, like anything else, the more marketing we can do, the more successful we can be. So the greater extent we can get the word out, the better. At one of the sessions this morning, we heard the Chief Digital Officer from HarperCollins, I believe, state that we, as an industry, really haven't yet made any progress. That is, it's still very, very early days indeed for electronic books, electronic learning materials, and ways and means in which we express ourselves electronically. So, with that being the case, it simply cannot hurt to have, I think, some insight from some of the better thinkers that are out there about what they think and where they believe things are going, some examples of what's actually working in practice. I think that's great because it gives somebody a primer on what's the current state of play and where do we think things might be going. But I think it might also, if you don't mind also pointing out, that because it's very early days, somebody who is interested in the space, I think, has a great opportunity to make tremendous impact because there's a lot of open territory still to be discovered. I think it was about a year and change ago that Apple announced its iBook project. iBook's Author, I think they had called it, and they announced some early partnerships with Pearson and McGraw. I think Cengage was in there as well. And right out of the gates, within days, they were disagreeing over price. And it was transparently obvious to many of us who were already in the space that you cannot dictate to students what device or what platform they'll consume their content on. They want it to be everywhere. And so I think Apple's foray into higher education has been more of a miss than a hit, because I think that they failed to understand the space. I think things that are working, and again, this is early days, but I think where companies recognize that the student is the ultimate purchaser, even if they're not actually buying the book. Maybe if the school is buying it on their behalf, the ultimate consumer is the student. And where students have the convenience of being able to pick up whatever device they happen to have handy, and they can access their learning materials in a quick, easy fashion, that's a quick, ready win to get. It's complicated to get there, mind you. It's expensive as a platform provider. It's expensive to do. But there's no question there's a win in this idea of universality, being able to support students no matter the device they happen to possess. I have long been a proponent of making marketplaces as open and competitive as possible. There's simply no reason at all why schools can't enter the publishing space themselves, and to facilitate means for their academics to publish their materials freely. But like all arguments, there is a logical conclusion to it. And there really is genuine cost. There's real expense in the process of aggregating, editing, and distributing materials, even in electronic format. Everybody says, well, the marginal cost of delivering the second unit is next to nil. But they fail to understand that there may be millions of dollars involved in getting that first unit ready for delivery. So my answer to this is, from both ends, from the strong proponents of open access to learning materials, they should knock themselves out and do their very, very best. I firmly believe that what Flat World Knowledge is doing is there's merit in their path. Equally, however, where Elsevier is investing millions in their digital infrastructure, they ought to be pursuing that as hard as they can as well. As we said, we don't know what the answer is. There is no one great way to go about doing things. We have to experiment in order to move forward. So there is no great answer.